on the B trust, because it's non-qualified. And it's easy. It gets in there, simple, and then it could grow. And you have a question, but now we're gonna talk about leveraging this. And it's a cool thing.
Wait, so one quick question on that
Yep.
before you go on. Life insurance on husband, should the beneficiary be listed as the trust initially instead of the wife? As
That's a choice. It can either be the wife and then the contingent beneficiary should be the trust, if they have
You
a
can
trust.
disclaim it just like it was a disclaimer and it doesn't affect anything?
Yep, it's a choice. That one, there's no real difference in how it gets there. Okay, did you have a question?
Well, I just wondering, say they own a home together and he dies or he dies, where does that money come from, or is that just
Okay, so
in
they-
space until they sell the house?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. So they own a house together. And in a straight AB, one half of the house could go in there. Remember, it's the decedent's, his own non-qualified plus one half of their joint non-qualified. So one half of the house can go in there. Well, that seems weird, right? It's nothing more than a deed
Okay.
that we do as lawyers and say, the wife here will sign a deed that half of the house is gonna go into the B trust and half of the house into the A trust. And it can be done, it's quite simple. But this formula would allow the entire house to wind up in the B trust, because we can use the entire couple's non-qualified. So be on the lookout for clients who have a lot of IRAs and 401ks, because this is the wave of the future here.
Right.
That's where most of your clients and my clients' wealth is gonna be. Well, if they don't have the right tax formula, then we're not really able to shelter all that much. Yes,
What, I mean, maybe I might be jumping the gun here, but what if the life insurance per se was owned by an islet?
well, that's completely different, and that's, if the islet, if the life insurance was owned by an islet, then it will not be included, it's already a credit shelter trust. Because it's not gonna be included in either of them, their estates when they die.
Can you tell the rest of us what an islet is?
Yes, irrevocable life insurance trust.
I actually thought about that for a second, I'm like, there's nobody that
You're
knows
just trying to
that.
tax.
Yep. And an islet is kind of a goofy thing for people who sell life insurance, because if you don't truly understand it, you don't need to know that much about it. But if you don't understand it, you can be doing your clients a disservice. Because I think I certainly experienced this at my old firm, is that people did not want to get the lawyer involved when they thought that maybe these person should have their assets in an islet, because they thought the lawyer might screw up the sale. Or that it's gonna complicate it for the client, and the client's gonna say, well, I just don't wanna do it. Again, work with the right lawyer, so that the lawyer will help you sell it. Help you sell it, not make it harder for you. But let's say your younger clients who have some assets, you know, take an engineer at 3M and wife works at Medtronic or something. Well, they're probably saving a lot of money in their 401ks and IRAs and have some assets. And then you propose a $2 million life insurance policy on each. Well, if you do that, you just added $4 million to their estate needlessly. Because the $2 million policy on husband, if it's in an islet, won't be included in his estate. And the $2 million on wife won't be included in their estate. So think about that. If you're writing major cases, then get the lawyer involved. It's the right lawyer, because they'll help explain it to the client and help sell it. And by the way, if this is term, don't be too concerned about it. Because if it's term and you sell that $2 million policy to them, go ahead and do it. Get them to sign that. And then have the meeting with the lawyer. Because if it's term, it can then go into a trust, okay? And it can go into the irrevocable life insurance trust, and there's really no fee, well, not, there's a lawyer fee, but there's really no fee to it because there's no underlying, what do we call that, the cash reserve. to pass over if it's term. And there's one downside to it though. The client can't pass away in the next 3 years. Okay. But if they're young, maybe that's okay. So you can always sell those larger policies, especially term, and get the lawyer involved later. The downside is that 3-year look-back period, which is not typically a major concern.